Let's go live. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited for another live stream. The last ones were so nice. So we're going to answer your questions. We're going to connect to the records. We're going to have so much fun together. So far, these live streams have been a really great joy in my week. I want to get to the consistency of one a week. So whenever you have a question, know that this is a space where I can ask the Akashic Records, because that's my main way of channeling. I can hear other sources of information, but the Akashic Records has always been my origin of channeling, and they taught me everything that I know about it. So if you have a question to the Akashic Records, this beautiful cosmic library of knowledge, then let me know. I am at the moment, I ask like, which records would you love me to open? And they said to me, you need to open the Akashic Records of human alignment with source energy. Or no, with divine source. Human alignment with divine source. Now, I never opened these records before. So I first opened my own records. I said, which records is best for this live stream to open? And then they said that. Okay. So I just opened them. And I'm looking. So I see BCD is here. And he said, are you still? Beautiful. So I have some questions that I got from the last live stream. Yeah, so I got some questions from there. And let me start with one of those, but I also already see in the chat something happening. BCD, do you remember your question? Because I picked up 3 questions that I didn't ask before, but maybe I have missed yours. So if you can ask that question again, it will be amazing. I have the chat here on my right, so I see you. Golden Thread Sanctuary, so good to see you. Welcome. What is the story of... Okay, let's start with that question. It's beautiful. So I don't know what you're talking about as well when it comes to the Saturnian death cults. I haven't heard about that, but I'm sure the Akashic Records know. So let me ask that as the first question. Yeah, so I at the moment the records are open of human alignment with divine source. So know that that comes from that. Hello, Susie. So beautiful. Okay, let's go. What is the story of Earth, humans, demons, and the Saturnian death cults? Okay. Dear one, you are asking a question that we could write 15 books about. We want to respect your time. We want to respect this channel's time. So we will not at the moment channel 15 books for you, but literally, your question envelops so much that you want to pick one at a time. What is the story of Earth is a huge question. The story of Earth at the moment is being remembered, because the story of Earth that you got taught in your middle schools and high schools is being completely debunked by historians and archaeologists. And of course, there have been channels over the many millennia that have said the same thing. But this time, is very special when it comes to the story of Earth, because not only people are reflecting the faults in her history and archaeology and your current vision of evolution, but now also historical sites are popping up, and they will only pop up more in the further collective and consciousness. First, the consciousness needs to be ready before the earth makes it possible to let these historical sites be found. But as you are seeing now, there are more and more pyramids and historical structures and signs of intelligent life 15,000 to 20,000 years ago being found. And even popular streaming service like Netflix are giving it the attention, not just the alternative medicine channel, but also the more mainstream. This gets well known. And the story of Earth has so many more things, but we would love to say, when it comes to the story of Earth, yes, enjoy the show, because the story of Earth is being remembered and uncovered. You might say rewritten, but it is not really rewritten, because then you would write something on top of the older texts. It's rather the older structures coming back online and being remembered after almost a 10,000 year period where this information was closed and hidden. And that's just one aspect of your question. You also are asking about cults and about different beings like angels and demons and things like that. We want you to know that from our perspective, we see your life as energy, as harmonic frequencies or disharmonic frequencies, depending on where you are in your life and how much of your life you have aligned with what you are here to do. All of the beings, and you can call them names, are basically just frequencies. Just like every human has a unique set of frequencies inside of them. So every form of being, including angels, fairies, demons, but also communities and cults, are holding different frequencies. We can go into much details about all of this, but like we said, it will take many books to be channeled to answer your question. What we would love to say to you and to everyone who is interested in these beings or in these cults and the story about them is to ask yourself the question, which frequency are they holding? And do I want to infuse my consciousness with these frequencies? If the answer is yes, you made a conscious intention to dive and absorb these kind of frequencies. For us, it's more like a big color selection. Like when you are at a Home Depot and you want to color a wall and there are all these different colors for you to look. All these colors are different frequencies. Some colors you love, some colors you find absolutely disgusting, and you are believing that who would ever put this color on their wall? But different people have different frequencies and different tastes. And what for you might be the most awful color might be the dream color from somebody's bedroom. So, see every community, every cult, every article, every video, every form of media, every channel, every being, including the non-physical beings, just as a palette of colors. And your job, especially important in this time, is to become very selective which colors you are absorbing in your consciousness, because your speed is accelerating. You are embodying higher light. With higher light comes higher speeds of manifestation. Everything that is absorbed in your field will be reflected back to you more. And this is way more specific than most humans believe. Luckily, we are now gathering with you here, and we know that you are already quite advanced in your ability to know about frequency, vibration, manifestation, and so forth. But to truly live like this is something else than knowing that it is so. Truly living really means attending to every specific color you let into your life, and not by control, but by intention and decision. Let your life only reflect the colors, communicate only with the beings, immerse yourself only with the people that are of the vibrations that you so choose. We can go in further detail in later questions, dear one, but we hope this answer is sufficient for you now to provide you with the next step or the next form of inquiry. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Okay, there is incense. Really be very careful. Do you see this incense? Okay. Let me quickly put it away without. Oh, I did it. Okay. Wow, that was beautiful. Oh, wow, Sensory, thank you so much for that donation. That's absolutely beautiful. Wow, I received that. Amazing, thank you. So, let me know how that was. I also saw somebody join my Zoom meeting, but this person disappeared again. So, because I was channeling, I cannot know. So if you were the person that was entering the Zoom meeting, come. You can ask questions live. So when it comes to the Zoom meeting, I literally last week, I opened a community where it's such a beautiful place where we are going to practice to align with the divine. We're going to practice to align with our purpose, why we came to Earth. And we're going to constantly feel like, okay, how can we align inside of ourselves? How can we align with the outside world so that we start to truly embody and become prosperous in doing exactly what we are here to do? So in so doing, I opened a community because I want to grow together with you. I love to do this on my own. It's my biggest passion. But why not do it together? And why not open a very beautiful sacred space? So also the community members will have the opportunity to be with these sessions live and can ask questions live. So there was somebody joining, but this person left again. If you want to become a founding member, I would love to have you. I'm looking at the moment, we're attracting founding members that are able to shape this community together. It's a very beautiful space. I will send you the link in the chat if you're interested. So let's continue. BCD, Kundalini and Merkaba meditation. Okay. I remember a little bit that question in the chat, but I'm just going to ask to the Akashic Records, any thoughts on Kundalini and Merkaba meditation? Yeah? Okay. And if you want to put the full question back in the chat, I would love to know, because I cannot leave the screens that I'm having here right now. So it would be amazing. So BCD, I'm going to ask the records any question about, or any information about Kundalini and Merkaba meditation. 17 breath. This is again a very interesting question. And we love your dedication towards these practices. These practices are truly worthwhile and can be of beautiful effect, but they are so powerful that these practices also come with a certain remark. We don't want to say danger, that's too big of a word, but we want to say be cautious, especially if you are practicing this on your own. It is better to find in such moments a teacher, a master of these practices, because Kundalini is powerful. Kundalini, in our experience, is one of the most powerful practices you can do. But if you are able to steer your Kundalini up and point it to the wrong direction, it can have disastrous results. Kundalini is a force that rises naturally. So in a way, you don't have to practice. But if you are someone who loves to increase your life force, your energy, and the alignment of the chakras, it can be beautiful to be able to consciously steer your Kundalini energy. But doing this all by yourself can create a misdirection of this energy. And we don't want and wish that to anyone. So, with that remark, we would love to continue the question. The practices of Kundalini, first of all, are very interesting, because what is Kundalini? And what is the difference between things like prana, or in other languages called chi or ki, or roughly translated in English, life force? What is the difference between that and Kundalini? In our perspective, there is no difference. There are just multiple grades. There are multiple levels to the same energy. All of them are life force. You have the basic level, everyone has access to that. You can call that your chi or your normal life energy. Most people that have access to that also believe that the only energy source that they have is food. But in reality, there are so much more energy sources than food. So once you open up to divine knowledge from or originating from any culture, you will find the notion of energies that are available to everyone. And you can also bump into them in meditation, where you all of a sudden feel an energy source, a spiraling of energies or a rumbling of energies that seems to come from nowhere, but has huge amounts of stored energy available to you. And most of the time, the second and third layers of this life force energy are called Kundalini. And therefore, some people call it Kundalini awakening, because this deeper stored energy resource will be awakened, like a dragon or a serpent that have been sleeping. But once it is awake, it steers up and starts spreading its wings and starts moving upward into the direction. The symbolism as well of Kundalini is the rising serpent. But where do you see that same symbol? You see it in most healthcare systems along the planet. How is that possible? How is a spiraling serpent or multiple spiraling serpents all of a sudden also the logo of a hospital or a health center in the West? This is because human intuitive knowing remembers that this energy creates health and vitality. But for it to be proper, we ask everyone, if you are interested in this, to find a master in Kundalini awakening, because it requires great delicacy to straighten the spine in such a way that the so-called serpents are able to spiral with the greatest harmonic pattern upwards. If the spine is misaligned, if the person is not ready, these serpent energy might go into many places it is not designed to go. So please, dear, be careful. But we love when you found someone that is of mastery in this topic to not only ask you to teach, but also to let him or her absorb and observe you. Allow them to make these small, tiny adjustments in your body so that the energy flow will be harmonic for you. Forcing the dragon to awakening is not a good thing. Rather, have patience and find a mentor. When it comes to the Merkaba breath, it is a similar story, but Merkaba is a very different geometry than Kundalini. And we call it specifically geometry because the geometry of the Merkaba is not necessarily part of your human energy resources and chakra system, but there are many beings that are able to travel with Merkabas. This geometry is of a very beautiful, also dormant geometry. A person that activates the Merkaba is able to do many things. Most importantly, it is able to change vibration and location at will. And it is able to travel to multiple dimensions, multiple places in doing so. This also all sounds fun and nice. But again, it comes with a caveat. We ask you to first be very well in this reality before you start going into other realities. Because if you are very drawn to exploring the dimensions because of escapism, because you want to leave this place, the intention to use the Merkaba is not of a great intention. And like we shared in the previous question, the vibrations you hold inside of you are becoming of more and more importance. So instead of allowing yourself to mm, go into many places using breath, using geometry, using the spinning of the Merkabas and of the sacred triangles inside of you, you are able to activate a geometry that will create this vehicle for you that is able to do many things. But before you go there, feel into your body if your intention is of betterment and wellness. Wellness to yourself or wellness to the world. And ideally, of course, both. If you want to use the Merkaba to gather information that you can share with humanity, please do so. If you want to use the Merkaba and its breathing techniques to travel to dimensions, to come back to make a bigger understanding of the current dimension, please do so. But if you use it to escape, if you use it because you don't want to look at the current drama, we ask you, maybe it's better to stay in the third dimension and be able to first find peace here before you start to look for peace somewhere else. We don't like to give you these caveats, but we want you to truly have the most effortless path, and our answers will not be complete if we wouldn't mention these subtleties to these practices. Anyway, just like the previous questions, both on Kundalini and on the Merkaba, we can write books, and already books have been written that you are probably aware of. We want to say the following to complete this. Because we see in humanity that some people are confused with which practices to do, which meditation, which breath work, which transcendental or non-transcendental thing should I be doing right now. And we would love to say the following. Let the universe, the divine, life, select the practices for you. Maybe you look for solutions in deep meditations, while the real solution is salsa dancing. If you let go of the need to know which practice is best for you, the best practice will come to you. Yes, it is good to explore. Yes, it is good to be open. But you will know when you find your practice, it will stick. It will be like an addiction, but the most healthy addiction you can have. You feel that and you want to go again. So if you are in a place where you are confused with the amount of practices and methods that are coming to you, allow to drop it all and ask life, dear life, please give me and show me the practices that are perfect for me right now and in this period of my life. And lo and behold, you will notice that in the next couple of days, inputs will come to you. Might be very unexpected, but will be truly nourishing for your soul, for your body, for your mind, and for your overall well-being. With all of that being said, we thank you for your question, dear one. Thank you for reminding us. Wow. I see more people joined. Hello, beautiful. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yes, I see the thing. Beautiful. Hello, Ansara. Hello, CJ. So good, Susie. Hello. Barbara, good morning. Luke and Ellen, so good to see you. Hello. So I hope that was helpful, BCD. Of course, these questions go so deep, right? Like these questions go so boom. Kundalini, man, that's a 5,000-year-old practice that has been explored and cultivated, and maybe even older. Uh, yeah, just to spend uh, even an hour on it will do it a disservice. Okay. Hey, Adilka, I see yeah, this is a live stream. And was it you that was in the Zoom meeting? Because then you came into a moment where I was channeling and I couldn't see it. And then when I opened my eyes, I just saw quickly somebody wanted to join and then left. So I couldn't come in. So join if you want. And everyone who would love to be here live and ask questions live and have priority, come join the community. It's gonna be a beautiful space. And now it's really the time to become a founding member and to form this group really to your liking. I'm so excited about all of that. Okay. Um, okay, CJ, what is going on energetically right now? I feel dizzy, heavy, wanting to sleep, and had back-to-back migraines. My cat caught a mice last night, was so upset to pick this mice and take it outside. Wow, next to all the heaviness and dizziness and back-to-back migraines, you also need to remove mice from your porch. Yeah, and cats can be proud, right? Cats can be just these proud creatures saying, like, "Look, I have a gift for you. It's a dead mice." Wow, yeah, I have a lot of things about, like, I have a lot of. We explored this a lot with the community. We did a solstice ceremony, and in the solstice ceremony, we also wanted to give you the ingredients to move away from the heavy and dense energy. There is a lot happening energetically. There is so much going on right now. There can be a couple of different, like for me personally, when I get very dizzy or very tired or have migraines, the first question I ask myself is, do I have entities? And what I mean with entities is any outside being that is from a denser vibration. So because of the density, they can come into our field and they can become very heavy, like a migraine, like as if there's a stone just inside of my head. And the first time this happened to me, I actually was practicing Reiki, and you need to do 21 days of Reiki. And I was doing Reiki and I was getting better in Akashic Records. And just before that, I cleared a whole lot of emotion. So my whole energy body became way lighter. And I was not sensitive to these things up until I started doing all of that stuff in the year of 2020 or 2021, somewhere there. It was during COVID. And all of a sudden, I'm walking on the street and I just like feel just this like whoop, and there's as if a stone just entered. And all of a sudden, a migraine appeared. But because I felt that subtle, zoop, I knew this is not something that comes from me inside. Comes from me outside. So what I always love to do is to check if it's an entity. And how do I do that? By muscle testing. Because muscle testing talks directly to my subconscious mind. I also made a mini course on it called How to Talk to Your Subconscious Mind. But basically, your muscles are stronger when something is true to you than when something is false to you. And this is not the conscious mind talking, this is the subconscious mind talking. So, and the subconscious mind knows exactly what's going on with your energy body. It's no problem for the subconscious mind. It knows exactly where it needs to go, what it needs to do. So, to be able to tap into that, you can use a muscle test. Now, there are different muscle tests, and I go into the course about a lot of them, I think 5 or 6 of them. I use the ring test, which is make 2 rings with your fingers, interlace them, and you have to check the camera. And this is stronger when you say something that's true than when you say something that's false. When you say something that's false, you will notice that your fingers are way weaker. I also, Edilka, the one like Edilka, I'm so grateful. You showed me a muscle test. It's like when you say something is true, you have a lot of ease putting your fingers over each other. When you say something is false, like let's say I'm a tree, I'm a tree, I'm a tree. It's almost impossible for me to put my fingers over each other. But not this doesn't work for everyone. This only works for a very select group of people. Doctors use it, right? With psychologists use it with an arm test or with an arm stretch. But it's hard to do this on yourself. You have a lot of self tests. So to not let any mental information interfere, I just go straight to the subconscious and I ask, is this heaviness originated from a being? Is it from an external entity or is it from an internal cause? And if it's external, I like to put it away immediately. Now, what is very beautiful is I'm facilitating and helping a dear friend setting up a service with great protection. And if you are hearing this and you would love to share your service, then feel free to share your service in the chat or in the comments. But yeah, so there is more protection services coming. So you don't have to constantly protect yourself. You can actually be protected by very powerful energy healers. But you can do it yourself to a certain degree. And you have to know you are part of your own energy. You have to know you have the power over your own energy body. You have the power over your own energy. If this tiredness, this dizziness, these migraines, and I start to receive also at the moment heaviness inside of my head as I'm talking. So there are things coming into my head as I speak. My best perspective on this is because you are growing spiritually, you become a brighter light. And as you become a brighter light, you start to attract more beings. Now, these beings are feeling very heavy, but actually, they are light beings covered in darkness. And if you saw the Disney movie Soul, there's literally a perfect metaphor in that movie where you see like a little light being, but it's completely covered in darkness. And it cannot see anymore, it cannot move anymore, it's just like that. These beings are covered in darkness. They see a light, they think it's energy or food. They are in deep survival emotions. So they just want to get food. They don't care if they are intruding somebody's space. They may not even know that you're a human being. They're just seeing a light and they're just like, oh my God, I need light. I need some energy. And they just latch onto you, and all of a sudden you start to get heavy or you start to get migraines. Now, these beings are not here to make you feel heavy or make you feel pain. They are just in such a survival state, just like if you are in a desert and you have no water for a couple days, at one point you see water, but it's in somebody else's garden. You're not even thinking about, oh, can I go into this garden? You're just like water, water, and you just go. You go to that, and you notice after that if somebody likes or not likes that you are trespassing their garden. So in the same fashion, these beings are not even caring because they're covered in low frequency. In low frequency. And low frequency is not bad. It's just lower. It's just lower. It's just lower frequency. So just the same that red is lower than green or blue. Blue is of a higher frequency, red is of a lower frequency. So in so doing, they are vibrating lower. They make your energy more dense. And I would love to, because I'm just got a couple of things myself, So I would love to do the following, and I'm going to do it immediately myself again. So if you would love to follow me along, we're going to do an entity clearing exercise right here. This is my own self clearing protocol. The service that I talked about, that's way more advanced. I want to also learn from them how to be more advanced in this, but this is what I currently know. So I tune into my body. I take a couple of deep breaths. And I really see if I can make a map of my current energy body, as if I'm locating everything that feels heavy. And I might say, dear entities, and sometimes I feel a couple of spaces in my body kind of respond just to saying, hey, entities, or dear entities. Then I ask them, are you originally made from the light? And I hear 3 yeses. So at the moment, there are 3 beings here that are made from the light in my own energy body, right? And then I ask them, would you love to go back to the light? And do I have permission to bring you back? So because I'm used to talking a lot with energy, I'm able to hear what they are saying, what they're communicating, or my mind is able to translate what they are communicating is, I think, a better description. But you don't have to know necessarily. If you don't hear anything, you might ask them, what is a clear yes? And they communicate a yes, even though it just looks like a color or it looks like a something, or maybe you see a certain direction or whatever your imagination is able to perceive. And then give me a clear no, and they give another signal to you. And if you have a clear yes and a clear no, you can ask these questions. Are you originally from the light? Would you love to go to the light? And then, do I have permission to take you to the light right now? I always ask permission. I have respect. Even though they're intruding, my ego is like, go off my body. But I have respect for these beings because, yeah, they're in a nasty place, and we can help them get out of that nasty place because we are a bridge between light and between physicality. So we are bridging many different frequency spectrums, and we are able to be a bridge from their frequency spectrum to their original frequency spectrum. So if you have yeses on the permission and all of that, I'm doing the following instruction. And I say that until I feel the energy is out of my system. This is what I say to all the entities that have permission. I just say, dear spirits, dear entities, I hereby now take you fully and completely into the light. I hereby take you back to your original place. I take you to a place of acceptance, peace, freedom, and unconditional love. I hereby take you fully and completely into the light. Now they're still in my energy field, but they're not so heavy anymore. And at the moment, I feel them very ethereal up here, but your light might be somewhere else, might be in front of you, might be somewhere else. My light seems to be always above my crown. So I feel these energies inside of my crown, and then I say, do you have any wisdom or healing for me? They might give me some wisdom or some healing. And then whenever I feel complete in talking with them, I say, thank you so much. You're now free to travel into the light. Farewell. And that's when they truly leave my energy body. So first they're heavy, then they become light, but they're still there. And then I really feel them leaving completely. So that's what I do. And it helps a lot. Before that, I wanted to shoo things away, or I want to, just like get away, and I was doing all these kinds of magnet activation things and intention setting and get out of my body. I'm now releasing all of this. It didn't help. It's only started to really truly have lasting effects when I started to respect them and talk with them like intelligence, just from a different frequency. And this is how I currently do it. Now there are more advanced protocols that I might be able to talk about in the future, but at the moment this is what I can say. So I hope this helps. And let me know if you feel a difference already. It might also be from a different, but it seems very much to your question that it is an energetical source. Yeah. So another thing that all of this tiredness, these frequencies, these dense frequencies, they really do not like the energy of love, and they really do not like the energy of life force. So instead of protecting you, like protection only creates you become more of a target in a way. You don't want, yeah, of course you want to protect yourself, but you don't want to protect yourself from a place of shielding. You want to protect yourself from a place of love. So you can create bubbles of love around you. You can visualize bubbles of love around you and great life force coming back into your energy field. You can use your imagination to actually create real effects. I'm reading the books of Neville Goddard, and Neville Goddard is this amazing manifestation teacher, Kabbalist. He studied the Bible and found it was a manual for the mind, and he started to use it like that, and he started to manifest amazing things. And he wrote many books in, I think, the 30s, 40s, like last century. And I was studying him, and what was happening was, it was so beautiful. He was talking about the law of reversibility, I think, is that sometimes we have a logical reasoning into one go, but then there's also, it also works the opposite. For example, electrical current can create magnetism, but magnetism also can create electrical current. My sound can be transferred into zeros and ones, and also these zeros and ones can transfer back into sound. That's how how you can hear me right now. So that it works both ways. And maybe an easier non-technical thing might be a car, right? Like movement and friction, or like friction on the road, energy and friction on the road can create movement. But also movement can create friction. So friction can create movement, and movement can create friction. Or traction, I should say. Traction can create movement, and movement can create traction. So there are these different reversible things, and most of the time we know very well how one thing goes, but we are not considering that the opposite also works. And this is the same with our minds. Like, for example, a better life situation will create different thoughts. That means that different thoughts also result in a better life situation. Are you following? I'm curious. Let me know. Let me know how you, if you're following. So this is what I mean. It's like, for example, if you would be, I don't know if it helped, CJ. I don't know if it helped, but if you feel a difference, like if you would be no migraines, feeling healthy, feeling vital, feeling great, would you think differently about your day? You probably would, right? You would probably be full of energy, spontaneous, maybe calling people, maybe going out. You will have a lot of vitality. So that vitality created a certain set of thoughts and a certain set of ideas. but that certain set of thoughts and certain set of ideas can create vitality. It's always opposite. Like there is like these, the opposite is also true. So most of the time we only consider one direction while the other direction works the same. And in physics, we know that a lot. For example, the the telephone or radio is such a thing, right? Like radio is such a thing of like, oh wow, we can actually send sound into a digital current, but also a digital current can create sound. So that's so fascinating to me. I don't know if I make sense, but it's so fascinating to me. Okay. There was a little bit of a human answer with Akashic whispering in the background, but I hope it helped. Thank you so much for your question. Ana Luisa, wow, hello from Brazil. Muy bien. Oh, no, no, no. I don't know how you say muy bien. Muito bien. No, I think that's Spanish. I know obrigado. Obrigado. And I know I'm learning a Brazilian song right now called Eu canto nas alturas. It's very hard for me to pronounce. Eu canto nas alturas. It means I'm singing from the heights. I'm singing from the heights. A very beautiful Brazilian song that I'm learning on guitar. Anyway, that's a whole deal. I hope to play it one time for you. So, how can you cope with the hard times? They are so frequent these days. Yes, I talked about it a little bit, but I talked about it from the human perspective. I'm going to talk from the Akashic perspective, and then I go to Sanseri's question. Yeah, so I will do your question first from the Akashic Records because it very links to the previous question, and then we will end on Sanseri's question, which is what do I need to know right now for my highest good and the highest good of all. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful question. Okay. Let's first talk about what is going on right now. What is going on? All the heaviness, all the intensity. Dear Akashic Records, can you tell me what is going on? There are many perspectives available to the current situation on your planet. It is obvious the energies are incredibly intense right now, and they have been building up since the last, in reality, more than 40 years. But now, because this is an exponential curve, the energy is increasing faster and faster and faster. There are many perspectives to explain what is going on right now. And some say it is the solar flares, and others say it's the retrograde of the planets. But those explanations place the power completely outside of you, because what can you do about solar flares or that Mercury is turning in the opposite direction? There's not much that you, as from a human standpoint, can change about that. So even though those are factors that can be included, very much so, we would love to keep our perspective and our answer based on you and on the human being that you are, and how you can navigate these times with a little bit more power and stability. So, what is going on right now? From our point of view, there is a huge ascension process going on right now. That means that on a collective level, The frequencies are rising. It's like a huge elevator with 9 billion humans is going a couple floors higher than it has been before. But in a way, what is also going on is that these floors are of different density. And when you shift density, first the density, even though you're already on a higher floor, the lower density needs to be cleaned out of the elevator. Let's say first this elevator is in water and the elevator starts to ascend and moves into the open air. The first moments of that elevator being in open air is consisting of huge amounts of water flowing all around the elevator because the water of the previous density cannot stay in the new density of the air. And so this ascension process flushes all of the lower frequencies that were normal, flushes it through the human system out of you. So basically, you're already at a higher place. But for the coming years, that energy of the lower density needs to be flushed out. We hope you to paint a clear picture in human metaphors here because it's a very energetic dynamic. But it works the same way in many different principles. So, what can you do about that? You can do about that the following. First of all, love yourself for being conscious of these shifts. Still, more than 85% of humanity is not conscious that something is happening and are blaming it on sources outside of them. It is the government, it is my employer, it is my neighbor, it is my husband. That's why I feel so bad. No, be proud and appreciative. Praise yourself for already feeling these energy dynamics. Allow yourself to realize you are already well on your way in this journey. And your field has opened up earlier in your time space than most of humanity. So be very gentle with your body. There is a lot of energy moving through it, out of it. And you're not only processing it for yourself, you're also processing it for the rest of humanity. Why? Because your soul signed up to have such a role. You become aware earlier partly because you're able to move these energies through you also for others that have different roles to play. So unfortunately, that can be very chaotic and very shaky. There can be a level of turbulence and tiredness and fluctuation that is very ungrounding. And that is immediately the second thing we would love to say. Next to be very gentle and appreciative of yourself, ground. Ground in nature. Ground in the body. Do not be based in the mind, because the mind has no clue how to process all of this. It is receiving, but it is not able to process. Move your complete attention downward into the body and into the lower centers. These lower centers are created to ground. You can better, and this is not a joke, this is very literal, you can better have your focus on your feet and on your legs than on your mind in these times. You will have a way happier life when you focus on these areas of your life. Why? Because these are made to ground you, to connect you with the earth. The earth knows that everything is all right. The body knows everything is all right. The heart knows everything is all right. But the mind is not convinced of that. So place your own system into the parts that know everything is all right. It will greatly stabilize you. This stabilization is very synonymous, again, a water metaphor, and we had planned to do also a water question asked in the previous live stream, but we will move that to another live stream. Another water metaphor is this. If there are big waves in the ocean, would you be more comfortable in a very tiny wooden boat where only 2 persons can fit? Or would you be more comfortable in a cruise ship that is able to host thousands of people and is way bigger in size? Of course, most people will choose the stability of the cruise ship. What makes the cruise ship so much more stable? It is so much more heavy. It has so much more service. It has so much more mass. And that mass creates stability. But also, as your beautiful equation of Einstein, E is mc squared. Energy is equal to the amount of mass times the beautiful speed of light. At the moment, your energy is increasing. That means that your mass must increase. We don't say start eating lots of unhealthy foods. We don't mean it literally. We mean it in your energy. Get grounded. Become the mountain. Become super stable. Become the cruise ship. Become the big oak tree instead of the very small young tree that is just here to grow. Or maybe a better metaphor would be oak tree instead of a blade of grass. Maybe you feel like a blade of grass, but go into your body and be the oak tree. Maybe you feel like a dust in the wind. Become the mountain inside of your energy body. And you do that by moving downward with your focus. Breathe into that. Spend 15 minutes a day consciously being here, and you will have a very different day. And finally, because we want to keep this very practical, and finally, this is a time. Earth is partly using this chaos to point humans in a certain direction. Now, you might believe that direction is outside of you because there's social media and there are all these things and there's all these revolutionary technology going on. But actually, Earth is making it so intense, and Earth makes it so confusing and so chaotic that there's only one more place for you to look for your own truth. And where is that? Of course, that's inside of you. So you will start feeling a shift, because many people will get so crazy for looking answers outside, and this person says this and the other says that, and everything sounds nice and everything is good. But because of the confusion and because of the rapid rate of change, including the rapid rate of energy, there will only be one ultimate place people land. And that place is inside of you. And we love for you to find that place sooner than later. But some people need to move to that edge before they are making that conclusion. If you don't want to experience this instability and this confusion and this chaos for much longer, we are inviting you to take a big deep breath and decide, I will find my answers from inside. Before I look for answers anywhere else, I will first ask it inward. Before I want to project my mind into social media or Netflix or different forms of entertainment, I move my energy first inward and let me be with myself for the next 5 or 10 minutes before I open anything. This shift is so simple, but will be one of your biggest allies in becoming empowered and stable in these times. It's all happening to the highest good, and you are a brave soul for incarnating at this time. So allow yourself to be appreciative, to be grounded, and to decide that your truth can only be found inside. And you will have great tools at your disposal to navigate these stormy energies. Thank you so much for your question, dear. Wow. Ah, beautiful. That was incredible. Okay, one more question, and that's the one of Sunseri. I love that name. Hmm. What do I need to know right now for my highest good and the highest good of all? Beautiful. And thank you so much for that beautiful gift. That means a lot. That really means a lot. So let's finalize this live stream with this beautiful question. I will make sure I'm clear again because, yeah, you know, when you become aware of energies, like it's so beautifully reflected in this live stream. Yeah, sometimes I just feel like, whoop, and there's just something here that hurts, and then and sometimes in my belly, and sometimes it's a heavy emotion. You know, it's kind of part of being awakened. It's like, okay, we're not just living in the physical world anymore. We're living in the energy world, and just like your garden can become invested with bugs and plants and that you don't like, with weeds you don't like, so your energy garden can have that same thing. So we need to be protective, and it's really nice to have a certain set of tools that can help you. Okay, I'm gonna clean myself and I'm gonna go into that final question. So thank you, Sunseri. Let's dive into it. Dear one, we feel very clearly that your heart is open. You have already cultivated beautiful energies inside of yourself. And we would love for you to focus a little bit more on your throat and mind energy centers. Now, let's get practical there. Allow yourself to sing. Allow yourself to hum. Allow yourself to express through voice in the way you like to express yourself. What does that mean? It means that all of these energies are opening up this channel. And what you will notice is by humming, singing, and sharing your truth, expressing what is true to you, you will open a very beautiful space where you become easier. It becomes easier and easier for you to allow your new truth to be expressed. So you can, of course, feel into different situations. But whenever you have the feeling of, oof, I cannot share this because this person might not be ready, or I cannot share this because I might overwhelm them. What you're doing is that your mind center is instructing your voice center to stop the natural flow that was about to happen. In so doing, the heart is not able to communicate. The mind is stopping your natural truth to come out of you. And that can create pain, psychological pain, and it can suffer emotionally. You can generate emotions that might become regretful or create doubt or create shame and shyness. But as we feel into your personal field, we see that that area is at the moment experiencing the highest constriction. So, step by step, allow yourself to become even better in that. And you might feel, but I'm already sharing, but I'm already singing. And also for the other people that are here listening, because this is not just for you, this is for many more people that are tuning in. Yes, you might already be singing, you might already be sharing, but are you doing so in line with what you know to be true for you? Or are you saying yes when you feel no? Or are you holding yourself small while you know you are bigger? Are you withholding information to anyone in any kind? Because this constructs the throat. If you start focusing on the relaxing of the mind and the opening of the throat, you will do a lot of high good for you and for your surroundings. You might be surprised. We focused on the throat, but we also focus a little bit on the mind. What an interesting thought that is. This person might not be ready for this. If the person is not ready for it, they will not hear it. You are not here to decide for them what they are ready for. There is only one person that you can decide what you are ready for, and that's you. And most of the time, and we see in almost every human, humans are not good in knowing what they are ready for. And some humans wait way too long because they are waiting for the moment until they are ready. If you're not being able for yourself to know if you're truly ready or not, you're definitely not being able to decide that for a person. And we're not saying so because we don't want to be harsh. We want to say this because we want to invite you to let them and let life decide if they are ready. Just share. People that are not ready will tune out anyway. Just like some information that you are receiving now, you were not ready for 5 or 10 years ago. And if that information would come to you back then, it will not be of any interest. There will be no resonance. Because humanity is moving according to the law of resonance, you can just pick your notes, pick your vibration, and share openly, and trust that whoever needs to hear will resonate and come, and whoever doesn't resonate, doesn't resonate. No problem. So we believe that's a better perspective than believing somebody is ready or not. We hope this helps, and we thank you for supporting this channel. We would also love to hear your reflections and your comments when it comes to this. Let's keep this conversation going. And if you have any further questions, we would love to answer these very soon. But even if there is no live stream, and this is a message to all, we invite every person to get into the habit of start asking great questions all the time. Your answer will always come. One part of the equation is the question equation. Ask questions where you want to experience the answer. So, if you want to experience vitality, ask, why am I so vital? How can I receive incredible amounts of life force? Beautiful question. But if you're asking the question, why do I feel sick? Or why do I feel weak? Beautiful question. Both will give you an answer. One will reinforce your vitality, the other one will reinforce your weakness. The question is one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is listening. Listening to all vibrations of life. Listening with your whole body. Listening to the subtleties. Listening to the corners of your eye. The answer might be on a short shirt of a little boy walking the street. But if you're too much in your mind, you might not notice that that little boy is exactly in your field because you asked a question and that little boy came to deliver that answer to you. Not really, but synchronicity brought you together. So listening in the broadest sense of the word is a great skill. Asking questions is a great skill. And to be continuously better in both will create a great increase in your quality of life and what you are experiencing. With all of that being said, we are deeply appreciating your attention, your questions, your collaboration, your energy. We hope to see you in one of our next live sessions. Thank you so much, all of you, dear ones. You are one by one moving through this turbulence, and you will one by one find lighter grounds, easeful living. We see it in all of your fields. Ask questions about it, and it might come a little faster. In the highest love, we embrace you and we leave you. Wow, incredible. Mm. Uh, wow. Sincerely, thank you so much for your question. I'm happy it resonates. It's 100% not only, maybe it feels you asked in a way a personal question, but you asked it also for the group. I mean, everyone would have so much love from that. And CJ, thank you so much for your generous donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It really means a lot. It really, really, like, I cannot express in words what this does to me, but yeah, I feel also I'm tearing up. Like, 2 years ago, and I said this also in one of the comments, one of in the previous energy update, somebody donated in a comment, and I was like, wow. A couple of years ago, I was in a place where I was doing what I studied to do, which was I was computer science. I was in a software testing, and my my energy, I already was very spiritual. I already was 2 3 years into Akashic Records at that point. I was on the side sometimes initiating people into the records when somebody asked for it. And sometimes the Akashic Records said, like, you need to host another meeting. So I was doing that on the side, but it was definitely not something to be able to live from. And I was in my computer science job, but it was draining my energy so much. Oh, the team was nice, but the work was boring. I was not passionate about it. It was even maybe if it was computer science in a field that I love, it would be something else. But it was computer science in a field that I also was completely not interested in. So yeah, somehow I found myself a high-paying job that paid the bills, but was completely draining my soul. And without any plan and without any savings, I stopped. I just said no more of this. I'm gonna stop. And it has been a very turbulent journey, especially the first month. I wish I didn't stopped. I was like, what did I do? I have no source of income, no savings. I need to start paying the rent. All these forms of panic came up. But out of that, I became very, like, in a very, like, after processing a lot of emotions and alchemizing a lot of emotions, and constantly the Akashic Records said, you will be all right. Wait for a couple days before you make any decisions. You will be all right. The right answers will come to you. And they didn't say what it was, but they just said, you will be all right. And after that, after a lot of very intense emotions, when I processed that, I started to feel a natural inkling to learn video editing. Now, I never was interested in video editing before. Well, like, oh, all of a sudden I got interested in learning a program called DaVinci. It's a video editing software. I don't know where it came from, but I started doing that. And very soon after, a great friend of ours needed a video editor, and she could provide me with a part-time job that covered the bills. And because I was able to do video editing, I was able to, instead of doing things live, I was able to communicate this energy on YouTube. And it's very soon after I started doing YouTube. And I think my fourth or fifth video was the energy update of April last year. And it blew up, like it completely blew up. And it got more than 20,000 views, way more than I'm getting now on my videos. But because of that huge increase, I was all right. And I found myself a way of doing what I feel I'm intent to be doing and earning a nice living from it. But it's completely based into the unknown. It's completely based into life and somehow trusting that the right people will find me and would love to work with me. And then receiving these donations, therefore, means so much because, like, I'm so grateful that these steps into this unknown at the moment create this experience, and this experience creates resonance so much that you feel like supporting me. And that's just like, wow, I feel honored, I feel grateful, I feel such an overwhelm of love and generosity. And I don't know how to explain it in words, but the feeling is so beautiful. And it's the opposite feeling of what I was doing in the computer science, right? So that's um, one of my biggest, I feel, missions is to show it is possible, that alignment is possible, that you came here for a beautiful reason, that there are actually a lot of ways to discover that reason why you are on earth, and then to align with it, with taking sometimes hard but necessary steps, because on the other side there are feelings and donations and resonance and wisdom and being the side, yeah, like there's just so many benefits to the other side of these difficult steps and these emotions that were needed to run out of my system before I was able to do this, right? Oof. I don't know if it makes sense, but it feels amazing, and I wish this to everyone. I wish that everyone finds their sweet spot in life. And I'm still discovering it as I go, but I'm 100% sure I'm a lot more in the direction of my sweet spot than I was choosing money over my own soul. And you might choose money over your own soul. You might choose relationship over your own soul. You might choose a, something that is very bad for you physically over your own soul. But once you start to switch that around and you say your own soul becomes more important than any material thing, there's just magic on the other side. And I'm here to grow with you. I'm here to make that easier. I'm here to use my ability and my weird journey of spirituality to hopefully find and facilitate a lot more of this alignment. So yeah, thank you all for being here. Thank you for your generosity, your participation. Let's do this next week again. I'm looking forward to it. So if you still have questions, feel free to share them in the following week. And I hope to see you, yeah, very soon. Much love, everyone. I'm really, really, really enjoying these sessions. So much love. Big hug to all of you. Bye bye.